Yes, yes. It is your boy, T-Till. Conversation of the Heart, Season 2, Episode 21, with Barry Grant Jr. Let's go. DJ Teddy Grams, what's going on, brother? Devon, my guy. We got to catch up, Devon. That's all I'm going to tell you. Yes, sir. So today we're going to be talking to my guy, Barry Grant Jr. He's an amazing podcaster. He has an amazing sports podcast called the All Even Podcast. I'm going to let him tell you a little bit more about it. But he's a lot more than just a podcaster. He's an incredible father, and we're going to talk about his journey through fatherhood, the trials and tribulations, and the joys of fatherhood as well. And then we're going to get into his podcast and what he does, and just how he deals with everything that he's going through, and mental health and things like that. So it should be definitely a good show. Just gonna wait for him to get on here to start this conversation. It's been an incredible 3-week journey. Personally dealing with my own health and stuff like that. I had COVID. I contracted COVID. So I was out of commission for a couple weeks. Was supposed to do this show last week, but I definitely couldn't do it. But we back with a clean bill of health at this point, thank God. You know what I'm saying? And yeah, we gonna get into it. Crystal, what's going on? Melina, what's up? So it's gonna be pretty good. You know what I'm saying? I'm just waiting for my guy Barry to jump on with us. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, man. Yeah, salute Teddy Graham. Yeah, Melina. Yeah, nah, for sure. Like, yeah, me too. Appreciate you. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, it's definitely no joke. You know what I'm saying? But we here. And my guy Barry Grant is here right now. And we about to have a good time.
Yo.
Yo.
What's going on, my man?
My brother. What's going on with you, sir?
It's another busy day in the Grant house, man. You know how that go.
Yes, sir, I do. First and foremost, just want to say thank you for doing this. I appreciate you. You know what I'm saying? You have an amazing podcast, the All Even Podcast. And for my people who don't know, you know what I'm saying, please introduce yourself, and what you do, and where we could find your podcast and everything else.
Yes, sir. Barry Grant Jr., host of the All Even Podcast. You can find me at All Even Podcast on Instagram, Twitter. I'm actually on Facebook as well, Barry Grant Jr. My podcast is available on all streaming platforms. You can get it on YouTube, All Even Podcast, every Tuesday and Saturday. Got a couple other stuff going on as well. Got an interview show that I do most Thursdays. Also the new show that I got with my boy Buzz. Shouts to Buzz. It's called Throwing Chairs. That's on YouTube. Comedy stuff. So, there's a couple of things going on, man. Couple of things going on.
Man, you got a lot of things going on for real. So, and we're gonna get into the All Even Podcast in just a moment. But like I said, I appreciate you doing this. I know I would have the pleasure of being on your podcast about maybe 3 to 4 weeks ago or something like that. It's crazy. Time is flying. I had an incredible time. We had an incredible time.
Yeah, it was fun,
it was
man.
An incredible episode, man. Go check that out.
Yeah.
So, I know you're, big sports guy, and we're going to get into that. But I want to know about Barry Grant Jr., the man. You know what I'm saying? I know, you're a content creator, and you're busy with all these amazing things, the sports, the podcast, the shows. but Barry Grant Jr., the man, the father. You know what I'm saying? As men, you know that we all go through different things in life. Um, and we're always told to kind of just, you know, suppress your feelings, you know what I'm saying? Man up to all those type of things, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
So
yeah.
during, I know you for a long time, you know what I'm saying? I'm not gonna say how long, because then, you know, we dating ourselves
So
right now, you know?
it's going to date us. We ain't trying to date ourselves right now, man.
Yeah. No. We're not gonna do that today. But I've known you for a long time, so I know there's been a journey from, you know, teenagers, from elementary to teenagers to adults, and now being an older man, you know. Um, so what has that journey been like for you, manhood?
Uh, it's definitely been a journey. I can tell you that much. I mean, you know, I was born in Brooklyn. You got Rich over here clowning.
What
No,
is it, Rich? Yo, Rich, what up, man? What up, boy?
you know he's gonna be here to get me, man. But yeah, you know, born in Brooklyn. Moved to Queens when I was like 5 years old. Moved to
Blessings,
Rosedale,
blessings
and
for that.
huh?
Blessings for that.
Yeah,
You know what I'm
blessings for
saying?
that. Exactly.
Queens get the money. Yeah.
Had to get out of there, get the Queens. You know what I'm saying? So, but yeah, so you know, grew up in a single parent household, man. You know what I mean? My
Hmm.
father left early. My mom had to hold things down.
Hmm.
You know, she was a nurse for over 30 years, and you know, put
Hmm.
me through Catholic school and tried to keep me out of trouble and all of that stuff. So, you know, she definitely did what she had to do. You know what I'm saying?
Hmm.
You know, obviously we went to school together. And then after, you know, after high school, you know, things kind of turned on its head a little bit. You know what I'm saying? Like I really didn't know what I wanted to do. And I
Hmm.
really didn't want to go to school. You know what I'm saying? Like I was more like, okay, I can't do the SAT thing. I don't want to do that anymore. I took the SAT once, didn't get a good score, and I was like, I'm done. I'm not doing it again. Like you're not gonna get me to do it again. So ended up going to Queensboro. Went to Queensboro, and first day I walked in there, I was just like, yeah, this is like the 13th grade. I don't want to do this. I don't want to
Right.
do this. Like, you know what I'm saying? I'm in a class with older people, and you know, they're not getting the curriculum like how I would get it. I'm just like, why am I here? You know what I'm saying? Like, obviously I know why I'm there because nah, no disrespect to Queensboro. They got a lot of good programs, but I didn't put in the work in school that I should have. You know what I'm
Hmm.
saying? I didn't. Like I slacked around. I hung out with my friends. I talked to girls. I played basketball, played sports, did whatever I had to do other than school.
Hmm.
So, you know, I made a decision to drop out and I left the country. I left the country for 6 months.
Hmm.
I went to Jamaica for 6 months.
Wow.
And I wasn't gonna come back. Wasn't gonna come back. And my mom, shout to her, you know, she was like, listen, I know you like to draw. I know you want to do something artistic, the autistic field. So how about you come back if I can get you into this school?
Hmm.
I'm like, all right, sounds all right, but I want to go to school out here. Not
Hmm.
realizing that, you know, yeah, that might have been a good look, but you know, she basically tell me, listen, man, like I'm not trying to have you out there. Like I need you here. So I was like, all right, cool.
Hmm.
So went to the Art Institute of New York in the city. And I was doing well, man. I was doing great. It was fun. Learned a lot of stuff. Learned about graphic design. Learned about, you know, video production, audio, like everything.
Hmm.
You know what I mean? And I was really like I had my graphic design major, and I think I was kind of shifting towards the video stuff. Like I was starting to get really interested in that. You know what I'm saying?
Hmm.
And lo and behold, my mom gets cancer. Boom. I had to drop out. I had to drop out and, you know, become an adult. Like literally at
Hmm.
19, I had to work and, you know, help my mom and support her and try to help out with the bills and, you know, take her her chemo appointments every day,
Hmm.
do grocery
Hmm.
shopping, clean the house, everything. You know what I'm saying? Like I had to grow up. And, you know, 6 months after my mom was diagnosed, my cousin that used to live with me, she died. So you can imagine cancer with your mom, and then your surrogate mother, she's gone.
Wow.
So it's like, I'm looking around like, okay, so I'm really by myself now. Like the one person I could be able to rely on to help me with what's going on with moms, she's gone. You know what I'm saying? Going at 36 at that, giving birth.
Wow.
You feel me? So, after that was really tough, man. Like, you know what I'm saying? Bills kind of piled up, life happened, and, we ended up having to move and a whole bunch of stuff. So, I always wanted to go to this school, the Connecticut School of Broadcasting, but I never had the finances or the resources at first. So I was like, all right, cool. I want to go there, but I just ain't got it right now. So fast forward 8 years, and I'm still hell bent on going to this school. You know what I'm saying? Right. People tell me, oh, now you got to go to 5 towns. You go here, you go there. There's other schools to go to. I'm like, nah, I want to go there. It was just something telling me I got to go there. You know what I'm saying? So, I bought this house in 2016 after working hard and, pooling me and Mom's Duke's money together, and ended up moving to Oceanside, and, it was cool. But then she got sick again. Got sick again. So here I am again. I gotta take her home, right? Gotta take her home. So in that process, mommy's sick, she's recovering. I have my son, right? So my son was born May 31st of 2017. His name is Roman Alexander Grant. I had to make sure I gave him a nice proper name. So I'm Barrington Grant. He's Roman Grant. You know what I'm saying? Like, somebody, I always said that when somebody looks at my son's name on a paper, they're not going to know who he is. You know what I'm saying? Gotcha. They can't put him in a box just by seeing that name. You feel me?
I feel
you. So yeah, fatherhood is, I'm not gonna say was. Fatherhood was great. You know what I'm saying? Like the moment you hold your kid, it was just like nothing else matters. You know what I'm saying? So, raising him, and as he's going through his his progression and his months and all that stuff, it's very important that kids meet their milestones for the month. You gotta work on their milestones. If they don't meet the milestones right at where they expect it, it's no big deal, but you still wanna make sure they try to get there.
Right.
So, my son was meeting his milestones. Because I read a whole bunch of books on parenting, bro, on everything. Like I felt I was ready. You know what I mean? Like I literally probably read about 20 books by the time, Baby Moms was pregnant to the time that she gave birth. You know what I'm saying? And but after probably like month 4, month 5, started to see that his milestones were slowing down. He wasn't meeting them anymore. And didn't get concerned. I was just like, all right, I gotta watch this, because if it gets any worse, maybe I gotta get some intervention. I don't know, but I'm gonna see what I can be able to do. So obviously I'm over here reading stuff and reading blogs and testimonials and a whole bunch of articles, doctors, all that. So around month 6, I said to my baby moms, and shouts to Jasmine, great mother. I said to her, prepare yourself. She was like, what do you mean? I said, prepare yourself. I said, because your son may not be considered normal by normal standards.
Right.
So she was like, no, I don't think so. It's fine. I said, I'm telling you that he's fine. There's nothing wrong with him. I'm just telling you to prepare yourself. I knew, Terrence, I knew from that. I knew from the time that kid was 5.5 months old. And then
Wow.
I knew it.
Mm-hmm.
I've been with him
You know
so
your son.
much. That's
Yeah.
my son. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
kind of going backwards. Like, when he was born and we're leaving the hospital now, I'm over here thinking that they're going to give you like an instruction manual that's like this thick and you go through it or whatever. They give you a piece of paper. All right, here you go. Bye-bye.
God bless.
So that's it. That's all you giving me is a piece of paper. So like, all the fears, like, how am I gonna know what he does and what goes on, bro? All of that stuff is just, you just know. You know what I'm saying? It just
Mm-hmm.
happens.
Mm-hmm.
So 5.5 months, I know that something's up.
Wow.
So, going through the process, it's too early to actually diagnose him. You
Mm-hmm.
gotta let him progress, right? 11 months. He's 11 months now. It's
Mm-hmm.
April of 2018, and I'm playing basketball in the city.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, I still
You
play
still?
rec ball. So I'm talking
Oh,
about
you
like
still playing?
5, 6 leagues a year. You know what I'm saying? Like
Oh,
I
you was
was,
like that in
I
like
was
2017?
20. That was 2018, early 2018. Yeah,
Ah,
yeah,
oof, man. My knees just felt something just now. I ain't even gonna lie to you.
yeah.
I haven't, I haven't touched a basketball probably like 10 years, man. I ain't even
Listen,
gonna
I'm
hold
I'm I'm right with you. After I tell you this story, you know what I'm saying?
you.
So, first game of the season, I think we was probably up like 10 points, just waiting for a dead ball to sub everybody else in, get starters out, whatever. I get a steal. So get the steal, the guy's on my hip. So I'm like, all right, I'm gonna give him a little nudge, go for the layup, take the layup, and it's gonna be the end of my day, right? So I ended up giving him the nudge, powered up for the layup, and my leg gives out. So just imagine
Oh, man.
you're powering up so
Mm-hmm.
all my power and energy is going down, the leg
Mm-hmm.
gives out. So my leg pops out. So I'm looking at my leg and I'm like, okay, that's out. So I can't, if I land on my left leg, I'm gonna tear this one too. So I made the conscious effort to say, I'm gonna just come back down on this leg. So came back down on the leg, ripped everything. I ripped my ACL, I ripped my MCL, I tore my meniscus, I ripped my PCL,
Whoa.
I strained my LCL. I literally completely destroyed my knee. So as I'm
Whoa.
sitting there on the floor screaming. The gym is quiet. Gym is quiet.
Yeah.
People are coming because I literally collapsed right by the entrance. So people are coming in the gym like, oh, like really? You
Yeah.
know what I'm saying? So they wheel me out. I get to the hospital. They tell me that my knee's completely shattered. The doctor literally, like,
Oh.
he was funny. He said that I've been doing this for 30 years. He said, your top 3 worst cases I've ever seen. He said the impact of my knee, he said it probably similar to like when a linebacker runs into somebody's leg at full speed. He said that's the type of damage that you did to your leg. So obviously surgery is needed.
Well,
I
probably
get
lots of
surgery.
symptoms.
Yeah, I get surgery like what, 2 months later. And after surgery, the doctor tells me, he was like, look, bro, I'm gonna keep it 100 with you. It ain't
Um,
good. Like, you know what I mean? He said it ain't good. So when I got in there and seen exactly what was up, because like, you can be able to look at an MRI, you can look at
mhm.
all these things, but once you open up the knee, it's like opening up an engine. You'll pop the hood, you can see the damage. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
It was really bad in there. You know what I'm saying? Scar tissue, the damage, all the tears to the ligaments. He was just like, he did the best he could. So he was like, you may be lucky if you just walk around with a limp your whole life.
Wow.
He said, you'll never get, he said, I can't promise you that you'll get back full motion. As a doctor, I can't do that. He said, but, you'll have some type of quality of life. You'll be all right. So basically, he told him, like, all right. So I went home depressed. I was laid up in bed, just miserable. You know what I'm saying? And that's when my world kind of changed, bro. Because honestly, I was defined by basketball and sports my entire life. I looked at myself as a basketball player. Oh, I didn't make it far and make it to the league or whatever. That I always associated myself as being an athlete, knowing sports, being knowledgeable, playing sports. Looking out for the homies, building teams, doing rec ball. Trying to throw this fundraiser and do this and that, all of these things. So it's like I can't play ball anymore. It's like, who am I? Who am I?
Wow.
I didn't know who the hell I was, bro. I was miserable, making everybody else life miserable. And the fact that I was hurt, my son couldn't, because I used to take care of him, meaning like, we had a schedule where I would watch him and then she'd go to work and then, you know what I'm saying? I couldn't do that no more. So he had to stay somewhere else.
Wow.
So he was outside of this house and outside of my care for like, I don't even want to tell you how long, but that messed me up too. So it was so bad, bro, that I needed to get therapy. I had to seek therapy because all the tools that I was using, that I used back in my life when things got bad, like, when my mom got cancer or when my cousin died when I was 15, he had a bike accident. I can always rely on the tools that I had, but I can also rely on just playing basketball and clearing my head, going out there and shooting 500 jump shots and just clearing your head. Mommy gets sick, I can be able to go to the park and go shoot 1,000 jump shots and come back and get that aggression out. Go home and cool out. Now I can't get it out. Can't get that aggression out. I can't, the depression is starting to set in. So I was like, yo, it's either I lose my mind or I gotta go get some help. So, and I was always somebody that was just like, nah, I don't need that. I don't need that. Why would you need that? You tougher than that, man. People who get therapy, they weak-minded. I ain't with that. So here I go, right? And, it was a struggle to kind of like rebuild who I was. Like, the first thing that the therapist told me is that, you've defined yourself as this person your entire life, but that's not who you are. So you got to find out who you are. You know what I'm saying? And that statement hit me like a ton of bricks. I was like, I never really thought about it. Like, who am I? Like, outside of sports, what am I? So as the months went on, I realized that I'm a dad, I'm a son, I love to read. I love to, do other things than play basketball.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And it's just a constant battle, just trying to kind of like recreate yourself. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You literally tear yourself down to build yourself back up. And so after I got, went to rehab for my knee, and I was there for 6 days a week, 4 hours a day. I wasn't playing around, bro. No doctor was gonna tell me that, I'm not gonna be able to run and play with my son or be able to just like have the quality of life that I wanted to have. You know what I'm saying? Just like basketball, he used to tell me I was too small to play. I was too this to play. Okay. All right. You know what I mean?
Right.
So I took it as a challenge, and bro, I shocked my doctor. I remember the day, I can't remember what checkup it was. It had to be my 6-month checkup or something like that. I went there, my mom's, and I'm sitting there waiting for the doctor to come in the room. So I'm literally sitting on the chair. So he comes into the room and he's looking at me, and he has this look on his face like, I can already tell that you're bending way past I thought you would. So, bro, I've never had a doctor hug me.
Me either.
Literally hugged me, bro. He was just like, I don't know what to say. He's like, the the surgery is a tool. He said, but you willed yourself to get better, bro. You know what I'm saying? And I wouldn't have been able to do that had it not been for therapy.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
So, fast forward now.
And I just want to pause, but I just want to say, and I want to commend you for one going to therapy, because a lot of men, they would have went the other way. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying? Because there's a stigma around it, especially in our community.
huge
You know what I
stigma,
mean?
bro.
You know what I'm
Huge,
saying?
huge.
And we're men, so there's the stigma, and then the ego is big. You know what I'm saying? And so like you, I've had to go to, for just different things, and honestly, it helped you, it catapulted you. You know
Right.
what I'm saying? Of course, with your own will too, but it kind of made things clearer for you, right?
Facts. It gave me a lot of perspective, bro. A lot of perspective.
Right.
And not only perspective, but it gave me new tools. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Tools that I didn't have to
Right.
cope, to
Right.
be able to deal with certain situations. Like I used to always have that old rusty toolbox that
Mm-hmm.
it just didn't work anymore. I'm going through
Right.
the toolbox and I'm like, yo, why is this not working? I used to use this all the
Mm-hmm.
time. And it was the most frustrating thing in the world. And,
Mm-hmm.
getting the new tools, man, it was just like a new lease on life for me. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Still a work in
Mm-hmm.
progress, but, it
Of
got me
course.
there, man. You know what I'm saying?
Of
Definitely got me
course.
there. So,
Of course, because a lot of us use, and I was guilty of it at one point in my life, where you use different things. Like once you're going through a really destructive problem and you're depressed and you're going through things and you don't know how to handle it, and the things
right,
that you used to do is not working. Now, then some people turn into, just heavy alcohol use. Now you're not drinking socially. Now you're drinking every single day,
facts,
right?
facts,
Right? Or you go to drugs or whatever the case is, right? And we use different substances to mask our feelings,
facts.
right? To put band-aids on us. And as men, a lot of times we end up, a lot for, if you look at the numbers, especially with men in mental health, we commit suicide at a very, very high rate.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Because we're too macho. You know what I'm saying? Like we
Yep.
think we can handle everything, or
Everything, bro. Right,
I don't want people to know, right? But when you think about what you went through, you know what I'm saying? Like, and when and these things, I didn't. Well, some of these things I didn't even know. But when you look at the stuff that your mom was going through, that you had to handle, right? And then your things with your son, I'm sure it's not easy. No matter how much you love your child, when and we'll get to that, but just dealing with certain things like with your
right,
son, then and then your mom getting sick more than once,
right,
right? And then you having to kind of give up on your dreams that at that time, at the things that you wanted to really do in your life. It's like your life kept being put on hold
yeah,
for,
yeah,
for others,
yeah.
which is okay because as a man, this is what we do.
That's what we do.
This is
Right,
what we do. We provide, we sacrifice, right? You know what I'm saying?
right,
And we do what's needed to be done to be a support to others.
right.
You know what I'm saying? And then it's like, but when you strip all that away, it's like you look at yourself, it's like you said earlier, and you look at yourself in the mirror and you kind of peel that mask off. Who are you?
Right.
Right? And then that's a really ugly question, and that's a brutal reality. Like when you peel all that stuff away of you helping and you
And you
and you
can't
being a,
answer it.
and that's the craziest thing is that you just don't have an answer,
Right.
right? And I think so. Just salute to you for actually actively going, getting help, getting the help you need, to shifting your life to where you're where you're going now, which is very
Right.
successful. You know what I'm saying? But continue. Yeah, so I just wanted to just
Nah,
say that, bro.
nah, I appreciate you, bro. So yeah, man, like so, having that perspective and now having to take on the challenge of facing my son's situation head on.
Right.
My son is home now. That's probably the main reason why I worked so hard to get back, because I wanted him back home. You know what I'm saying? So he gets back home, and how he left was way worse than how he came back.
Mm.
Or matter of fact, he came back way worse than how he left. That's what I should say.
Wow.
You know, it was just like, it was really tough, man. Like, just didn't understand. Like, he didn't even know me. Like, you know what I mean? It took him a while to kind of like warm up back to his father. You know what I'm saying?
Wow.
So, you know, got him diagnosed, got him tested, and all these particular evaluations. They came back. He was, you know, he had ASD, and you know, I said, all right. I
Mm.
remember the meeting like it was yesterday. Like, you know, the person came in and they were like, okay, well, you know, this is the situation, and you know, these are the necessary steps that you have to take.
Mm-hmm.
And I said to myself, I was like, okay. And the evaluator, she was like, you don't have any other questions? I'm like, nah,
Mm.
I already read up on it. I already know what
Mm.
this is.
Mm.
So I'm just ready to get started. So she was like, you know, that's not the reaction that I normally get from people. I normally get denial. I normally get anger. I normally get, um, you know, real kickback about what's going on. I said, honestly, that's not going to help my son. I said, I
Mm.
knew from when he was 5.5 months, something was up. So I
Wow.
made peace with it then.
Mm.
This is not a shock to me. That's what a lot of parents that have autistic children, they need to do that. So whoever's in here that's dealing with that or got family members that are dealing with that, you got to let them know that what they have to do is bury the thought of what they
Mm.
thought their child would be. You know, I
Wow.
always had dreams of playing catch with my son and running outside and doing a whole bunch of other stuff and introducing him to basketball and watching games with him. That wasn't the situation that I was in. So
Wow.
why continue to lament on that? Why continue to hold on to those things that are not possible right now? What's the
Mm.
point? You have to kill that mindset. You have to kill that. You literally have to destroy that kid in your mind.
Wow.
Because if you don't, you're not going to be able to enjoy your kid that's in the present right now in front of you. And that's
Mm.
what a lot of parents don't do because they're in such denial. They don't want to tell their family members that their kid is autistic or whatever it is, they're on the spectrum. They don't want to fess up to it. They just want to go about life and hide the child or just kind of hide them in their mind. Oh, yeah, everything's fine. It's not fine. And you're wasting time because you can be able to be helping this child get better or even have a decent quality of life. You're
Mm.
holding your child back. It's not the other way around.
Wow. Wow.
So once you
Wow.
let go of that, it's fine. Am I going to sit here and tell you that it's easy? No, it's not. But I can tell you that it's a lot easier because that's the mindset that I have. You know what I'm saying?
Wow.
My son is a bundle of joy, man. He's 4 years old, just started school. He's doing great in school. You know, he's not talking, but he can do everything else. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
When he wants something, he has a picture system where he can be able to take a picture off and give it to you. If he
Mm.
wants something, he'll go into the kitchen and grab it himself. Or if he can't reach it, he'll pull you into the kitchen and he'll gesture towards it. So, you know, there's so many things that you learn from your kid, no matter if they're autistic or no matter if they're normal. I always put that in
Right.
quotation marks.
Yeah,
You know
exactly.
what I mean? And it's been a great journey, man. You know what I'm saying? It's just like parenthood, like being a dad is the most rewarding thing in my life. Like
Mm.
besides, you know, enjoying what I'm doing with the podcast and meeting great people and, you know, hooking up with with you, my other homies and all that stuff. Like all of those things are great, but being a dad, nothing beats that, bro. Nothing beats
Wow.
like waking up, you know, hearing him in his crib. I get him. He sits at the table waiting for his breakfast. I make his breakfast, and then we kick it for a little bit. And he's like, I need my tablet." So he's giving me his tablet picture, or you know, he's gesturing to go in the car, or you know, he's getting ready to go to school because he knows the routine to go to school. Like
Mm-hmm.
all of those things are just rewarding, man. So it's like I don't I don't miss the normal stuff that parents do with their sons or fathers do with their sons. Because as much as I used to think about it before, and then I had to learn to let it go, if he wasn't this way, it wouldn't be my son.
Wow.
You understand what I'm saying? Like, if
Yeah.
he was, running around and talking and doing all of this, I mean, he'll be my son, yes, but not
Right.
what I'm used to.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
Right.
it's hard to
Right.
explain, but it's
It's
just
the beautiful parts. It's the
right.
beautiful parts of who he
Exactly.
is now. He wouldn't have before. He wouldn't
Right.
have.
Like
Right.
I used to tell my baby mom Jasmine, I used to always tell her, like, enjoy this. No matter how hard it is, no matter how sad things can get, no matter how much it hurts, because
Mm.
it's hard. You know what I'm saying? There
Yeah.
was times where he would just cry for hours. You know what I'm saying? And you just
Mm.
wouldn't know what the hell was going on.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, through all of it, I just enjoyed
Mm-hmm.
every single part of it, because no matter if he's on a spectrum, autistic, whatever it is, they grow fast, man. And you gotta enjoy those times. Like, I look at him now, he's almost 4 feet tall and he's 4 years old. I don't know where the height comes from. Don't ask me, because I'm like 5'7", 5'8", 5'9", somewhere in there.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah, yeah.
he's gonna surpass me. You know what I'm saying? But it's just beautiful to see him grow, man. And I'm a
Mm-hmm.
proud dad. I'll always be a proud dad, and you know I'll always do what I have to do for him. You know what I'm saying? Like, I remember
Mm-hmm.
I used to hear, like, certain people, not really my family members, but, like, other people, they'd be like, oh goodness, like, outside. They used to always look at him like, because when he's excited, he'll scream or he'll do something, and they're looking at
Ah.
him like, and I remember there'd be times where somebody would say, oh, can you keep it? Can you let him keep it down? I'm like, nah, I'm not gonna let him keep it down. That's who he is.
Right.
I'm not.
Right.
I will never let him feel like there's something wrong with him.
Mm.
You know what I'm saying? So
Protected. Yeah.
yeah, bro. It's just
Yeah.
people gotta be a little bit more understanding when it comes to kids like that. You know what I'm saying? And you
and
need
and
patience.
peop- and people don't take, well, first, people don't really take the time to see, you know what I'm saying, like they look, because everybody, kind of like what you said before, is they think that everybody's kid is the same,
Right.
right, or like they're normal, right, and so they look at everybody like they have bad kids, right,
Yeah.
like you see a screaming kid on a plane, and of course they're bad kids, we all
Right.
know that. It'd be clear,
Yeah,
you know what
that's
I'm
right.
saying,
You got some badasses out there.
yeah, yeah, yeah. So people think that every kid that acts out, is,
Right.
that, like, oh, like they're all normal and they're just bad kids, and it's like, nah, man, like there's a lot of kids that are on the spectrum, or
Yeah.
are autistic,
Yeah.
that do have issues, and sometimes you can't just, what I mean. First of all, you can't just run off at the mouth at people's kids, because first of all, you don't know who you really gonna run into. That's
Right.
a fact,
Right.
right? But sometimes, like, you got to have a little bit more compassion. You know
Right.
what I'm saying? Because you
Passion
really
and
don't
patience. Yeah.
know. You know what I'm saying? Because you really don't know what's going on in that child's life,
Right.
right? And you don't know what if something could be wrong,
Right.
right? You know what I'm saying? It's just like when that whole Chadwick Boseman thing happened. Rest
Right.
in peace. And that picture came out, and he looked very
Yeah.
sickly,
Yeah.
and people were making fun of him, right? And and saying things, right? Because he didn't look normal, but they didn't even know, but they had no idea
Right.
the battles that he was facing while he was giving us all of those great movies that we love, right? Nobody knew what he was going through,
Yeah.
the
Facts.
battles that he was facing.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Everybody's just like, oh, like, oh, he looks sickly. Oh, like, he doesn't look normal. Like, and they make fun and they judge. And sometimes, like, like with the kids, it's kind of the same thing. It's just you don't know what these kids are battling. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying? There
man.
are a lot of kids that are on the spectrum. There are a lot of autistic kids. It's not a foreign thing, right? But to a lot of people, it's just like, oh, well, everybody's normal,
Right.
quote unquote,
And
right?
and
And
the
yeah,
crazy thing about that, not to cut you off, but, like,
not good.
people, there's a stigma about autism. Like,
Mm-hmm.
when we were growing up, we used to, we never heard that word autism. It was just like, all right, something's wrong with that kid. Put him in the other class, or you know, you would hear that R word. I don't use that word anymore.
Nah.
You know what I'm saying? You would hear that word thrown around a lot, because a lot of people think that they hear spectrum, they hear autism, they automatically have that R word in their head because they just don't know. And it's not the fact that they mean to be hurtful. It's just that there's not a lot of information there that they've received in their life about that situation. They don't have anybody in their life. They don't have anybody in their family that's going through that. So they're just on the outside, you know, they're on the outside looking in like, okay, I don't really understand this. And
they do, and they don't care, or they just go, oh, well, that's them, right?
Correct.
You know what I'm saying? Or they say, oh yeah, I have somebody in my family that's a R, right? I've heard that too from people that, oh yeah, I have somebody in my family that's a R, and that's their, you know, and it's just like, wow. You know what I'm saying? So a lot of people have that way of thinking too.
Definitely.
It doesn't affect them.
You definitely got the ignorant people out there, but you know what I'm saying? For the most part, I like to believe that people are on the other side of it. You know what I'm saying? Like, I always try to give people the benefit of the doubt. You know what I'm saying? Although you should with some people, but But the other part of it too is that people don't realize that the spectrum is so wide, Terrence, that you yourself could be on the spectrum and you have no idea that you are. Right? You've had learning difficulties growing up. You had this particular thing, like you were kind of slow to get this or do that physically, and some things just wasn't clicking, and then after a while it clicks. You can be on the very end of that shit, right? And then when you have a child and the child ends up being on the spectrum, people are like, how can this happen? Well, guess what? You were somewhere on that spectrum. So the likelihood of your child being on the spectrum is pretty high. It doesn't matter where they fall, you were on it, so it's possible that they might be on it. Wow. So a lot of people have to understand that as well, is that there's a lot of things within yourself that you don't understand until you get tested. Like how many adults you know get tested for autism, for certain things? They're not doing it.
No.
You would never think about doing that, even if like you had a kid. Like, let me go get tested to see if I'm actually on the spectrum. If I am, maybe there's a possibility that my kid may be on it, so I gotta kind of prepare myself. That was never in my head. It was never in my baby mom Jasmine's head. It was never in our heads to do that. But going forward, I think a lot of people should kind of like take that into consideration, because you know, you meet somebody, you meet a stranger, y'all you know, get together and have a beautiful situation. You don't know their family history. They don't know your family history. That plays a factor in bringing up a child in this world. You know what I'm saying? Right. So there's a lot of different things that, you know, if people don't want to do it, it's fine. But I just think it would be helpful to kind of prepare people better for certain things that may come up.
And you make a very valid point, because, you know, they always talk about, you know, like your medical history, you know, knowing whether somebody has cancer or Alzheimer's or, you know, things like that. But, you know, the crazy thing is, especially a lot of it in our community, too. I think we've got a little bit better, but it's like we have this thing where it's like whatever happens in this house stays in this house. And then then that's it. Right. And like, you would be surprised of how many people don't know their lineage as far as like the health, like, and just it's like a big secret. Like you didn't know that your grandfather had this, or your grandmother had that, or your grandfather had this. Nobody wants to say anything about it, right? You know, unless you've seen, like, the most you might know is like, oh, like, well, I know my mom had this because you've seen it, you know, right? But like everybody else, it's like, oh, I don't know, like I have no clue, right? And that's problematic as the generations go further and further. So now that you actually, you know, mentioned, I think it is a good idea, you know, to kind of even have these, you know, as far as these, you know, autism tests and things like that. That's actually a very good idea.
Yeah, I believe so. I think, like, you know, if you're with your significant other and you guys are planning a family, I think that would be something to just do together, just to find out, what's particularly in your DNA strand for you to be able to look out for. Not saying that it's going to stop you from having a kid. It may stop some people, it may not, but at least you know that there might be something on the horizon or there might not be. It's
Could be a
always
never
better
say.
for me. The way I go about life, I just like to be prepared. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
I think all the things that I did prior to him being born, then kind of put me in a mindset of like, no matter what it is, I'm good with it. No matter what it is, I'm gonna fight. You know what I'm saying? I'm never gonna like look at woe's me and why is this happening to me and why is this happening to him? It's not about that. It's about getting up. It's about fighting because I've been fighting my whole life. My mom, she's been fighting her whole life. She's been fighting this bout with her illness. To this day, she's still fighting it. You know what I'm saying? So, it's not about feeling sorry for yourself, man. And we gotta stop that. We gotta stop feeling sorry for ourselves, no matter what it is. No matter what diagnosis we get, no matter what situation comes about. Don't feel sorry for yourself. Get to work. You know what I'm saying? Get to work. Because that's the only way that you're going to be able to change your perspective or change your situation. Get to work. Don't worry about what's going to happen. Just focus on getting to work.
Getting to work and also dealing with your emotions.
Facts.
Because getting to work is half the battle. And a lot of people do that, right? And they're crumbling on the inside. You got to do both. You got to do the work on both ends.
Facts.
As far as attacking the things that are, that's plaguing you, your situation, whatever the case is, get into work to try to get that fixed, right? But then also making sure that your mental and emotional health is intact too.
Right.
And doing the work on that end. And a lot of us just try to just get to work. We always think get to work as just getting to work and just, all right, let's just forget the problems. Like forget it doesn't exist, right? But it's like, nah, we got to acknowledge it's there, deal with our emotions about it. Because people are emotional, you know what I mean? Some people are more emotional than others. Some people can actually, can probably just say, hey, you know what? I can just boom, get to work and then just get to it. Some people can't do that.
Right.
And if you're not one of those people, then you can still get to work on this side, but then take care of your mental health and your emotional health
100%.
On this end. Get you a therapist and get to work.
Facts.
You know what I'm saying? Like, and attack it from both ends. You know what I'm saying? And because everything comes full circle. Like you think sometimes that you can sweep your emotions under the rug, and it's not. It's still in the back of your mind.
Yep.
And it's still affecting your physical health too. A lot of people don't understand that when it comes to like your mental health and what you feel and your emotions. That affects everything. That affects your gut health. Like that affects your heart. That affects a lot of stuff, and it manifests. You know what I'm saying? That's why there's heart attacks. There's brain aneurysms. There's a lot of stuff that affects that comes directly from you not dealing with your mental and emotional health.
Right.
And so as a community, we've got to get to work. We've got to get to work on our mental and emotional health, and then we got to get to work on attacking our problems and not letting it break us. You know what I'm saying? And you're a prime example of somebody who has done that. You've done the work. You've gotten to therapy. You've attacked certain things. Got a new perspective on life. You got new tools to work with, and then boom, you're able to get to work.
All right.
Because if you pull that first piece away, could you have gotten to work now? I don't know.
I'm sure I'd have probably did it.
We'll never know.
It would have been a mess. It'd have been a complete mess. You know what I'm saying?
Right. And we always don't see that. And that's the other thing. We always don't have to work in mess, especially in our community. It's like, oh, I can work through anything. I can work through the mess. I'm a survivor, but it's like, listen, man, like sometimes working smarter is okay.
Facts.
Than working harder.
Right.
Like we always have this thing where we have to just work hard and through everything. And I'm a survivor and that's what I do. And then you work and you live in a space, right? Like you always living in a space of like, kind of like, man, like I just live in survival mode 24/7, 365. And it's like there's a time and place for that,
Right.
right? But at some point, it's like, all right, I did the survivor thing. Now I want to be prepared, right? I want to be prepared for the things
Yeah.
that come my way. So I don't have to operate in a place of survival mode 24/7,
Exactly. Because
right?
it's not healthy, bro.
That's chaotic,
Yeah.
right? And then now you'll reach a point to where you don't know how to operate in peace.
Right.
And then that'll be foreign to you.
Facts.
Right. So I love what you said. You know what I'm saying? Because, you do the work, but you did it on both ends. And I salute you for that, bro. And you're a hell of a father. You're a hell of a father. You're a hell of a man. You know what I'm saying? And you can teach, you know what I'm saying? Like the future generations of young men, especially, and girls too, of course. We're not going to forget about the ladies, but the men, you know what I'm saying? Like men have to get this piece. Boys have to get this piece. You know what I'm saying? Because like you said, growing up, it was like, what is that? Mental health, like whatever, like crazy, right? No, like, and that's the other thing. People thought mental health thought crazy.
Right.
Just like how, right? So, and it's like, nah, like we need to honor our mental health as we do our physical health.
Right.
Right? A lot of men want to be in the gym 24/7, and that's cool. Place for that, right? But they're crumbling on the inside. They're going through so much stuff internally, and they don't know how to operate in the real world.
Exactly.
They don't know how to communicate. They don't know how to express themselves. They don't know how to emotion. They look amazing. They look amazing now, right? But they don't know how to deal for real, like with the stresses of life. They power through. You can't power through everything.
Can't power through everything, man. Can't power through everything. Like you're gonna get through 13 walls and get to that last one, and you're gonna just break your shoulder because you need to slow down.
Mm-hmm.
You need help. You need to understand what's going on around you. You need to refocus. Like a lot of people don't understand that, man. Like, I always tell people all the time now, like, white people have been doing this for a long time, man. Like, people be like, oh my God, how's this person so successful? And they have a therapist like it's
So speed dial.
Exactly, like they go into the store. Like it's just normal for them. That's a normal situation. That now it has to spill over into our community. Having a therapist is okay. It doesn't mean that you're crazy. It doesn't even mean that you're going through something. Sometimes you just need a therapist to kind of give you a different perspective and kind of put things in order for you, because sometimes your thoughts might be a little jumbled. Things might be a little chaotic. So you kind of need some structure and some organization. That's what it's there for. It's not just for that one thing or that other thing. Like it's multifaceted, and a lot of people have to understand that as well.
Right, and some people have a thing like, oh, if I go to a therapist, they're automatically gonna put me on medication, and it's like that's farthest thing from the truth. Now, here's the thing: you might need something, and you don't even know it. Like you might need some antidepressants or whatever the case is, like, and that's fine because you might need it. Right? Some people need that, and they don't even know it, and they're just walking around, right? And they might need that, but that's not every case.
Facts.
Right? Like the therapist not just walking around here just handing out like medicine like it's drugs. Like you know what I'm saying? Like like that's not the way it goes.
Yeah.
And so these are the stigmas that surround therapy. And then men, a lot of us have a hard time already opening up to somebody.
Right. You know what I'm saying? You don't even talk to your friends about your feelings and your situation, much less somebody who's a neutral party, a therapist that you don't really know. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like for men, it's almost virtually impossible for us to really like express how we feel. You know what I'm saying? For me to even tell you, yo, Terrence, you my homie, I love you, bro. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like that's hard for certain guys to say. You know what I'm saying? Just to say that. Just to, tell your friend or your family member that you love them, that you hope to see them well and all that stuff. Like it's not easy for a lot of people. And therapy would make them understand or give them the tools to be able to express themselves in a positive way. That's not considered soft. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
There's nothing to do with being soft. It's about being a human. It's about showing emotion. It's about, you know, telling people how much you care about them. Like, yeah, obviously, like, you know, I'm still a very macho guy, if you want to say that. Like, there's
Right,
certain
right.
things that I don't say, but I feel it. But there's times
Mm-hmm.
where, you know, you gotta let people know. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes
You got to.
you gotta give somebody a hug. You gotta make sure that they know that you appreciate them. You know what I'm saying?
Right. And also therapy sometimes, you know what it does? It rips the mask off of
Facts.
what you've been fronting on
Right,
all these years, and
right,
it gives you a mirror, right? It gives you, it puts the mirror up to your face
right,
and says, "This is you,
right,
and this isn't good. This
right,
is ugly, and you need to get sick of your own stuff. Like
right,
you need to get sick of you if you want to change as a man too.
right,
That's also what therapy does too. Like it gives you the stuff. You know what I'm saying? It just says, hey, look, this is you, bro.
right, right,
Like, do you like what you see
right,
also? Because you walk around here thinking that you on a million.
right, and you're not.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah, just because you might be handsome or you build, you go to the gym or whatever it is that you got going on, or you could be have a lot of money, successful, cool. All that's great, but this is the real you, bro.
Facts.
Do you like what you see? Do you want to make a change?
Right,
Right? And I think, that's also the great thing about therapy too. But you gotta be you gotta be willing to do that.
right.
Like you gotta be like you have to want to do that.
Yeah, you gotta be willing to take that step, man. And that's another thing too. It's like, you know, if you got somebody in your life that you feel that needs that, you know,
Mm-hmm.
they have to want to go. You can't force them to go.
Of course. No.
Because if you force somebody to do something, they're not going to retain that information the way they're
Nope.
supposed to. You know what I'm saying? They'll go in there because, okay, somebody told me to go here. But that's not the healthy way to do it, man. So, like, you know, if anybody out there that needs it and you know they need it, give them their space for them to
Mm-hmm.
come around to that notion themselves. You know what I'm saying? So,
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And while they're coming around, I add to that, give them a safe space to come to you.
right,
Right? And no, like you may not be a therapist or a psychologist, but sometimes people need somebody to just listen to them,
yeah, yep,
right? And just say, hey, I'm here for you. I got you. Whenever you want to talk about certain things, I'm here. Because
right,
that conversation that they may come to you about could be the gateway to them going to therapy.
exactly,
And if you cut that off, if you cut that bridge off, you close that bridge, they may never be able to get to that
right,
place. And us as brothers, as men, we've really got to be able to start. It's good that we can have barbershop talk. We could talk sports. We could talk about the girls we see in the club. We could talk about all of this stuff, or whatever it is that we want
right.
to talk about. Raising Cain and all this stuff, right? Cool, right? But when it comes to real life stuff,
Gotta start
I'm
having those
talking
too.
real.
Yeah,
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 like we got to start having these real conversations with each other and saying, hey, listen, I'm not afraid of this conversation. You can come to me as a brother. I may not have all the answers, but I'm here to listen
right.
because you may need to vent off because a lot of men have pent up just stress that
Mm-hmm.
they need to let off,
Yep.
right? And sometimes the gym or whatever the case is may not just cut it. Some
Right.
people don't even go to the gym, right?
Right.
So it's just a thing of, yo, bro, I'm here for you, not just for the cool and fun things in life, not just for the party, not just for the bottles, not just for the cool times that we get together and drink and eat
For the
and
rough
talk,
ones, yeah.
but for all times,
Right.
right? And I think that's something very important that for us as men, we really got to start doing a better job of, what I'm saying, is giving our other boys, our other friends, safe spaces. Because we always give it to our homegirls. It's like, yo, you come talk to me about anything. It's cool, right? Yeah, no doubt. Come talk to me. Yeah. And it's dope and it's cool. And you should do that. But you should also be giving those same safe spaces to your guy friends too.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? Because they need it. And you don't even know. You know how many times people say, man, I didn't even know he was going through that, yo.
Right. Exactly.
Damn, like, I ain't even know. And it's like, would you rather be saying that looking down at somebody in a box? Or would you rather give somebody that safe space to say, yo, you know what? Yo, come see me, man. Like, if you're my brother then you my brother for real. And that means I can come to you about everything.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Or mostly everything, right? And just say, yo, I'm here for you, bro. Anything. You know what I mean? I think that's super important because I've seen it a lot. You know what I'm saying? Something happens to somebody that's sick or suicide, and then it's just like, oh man, like I didn't even know. And it's like, yo, but you said that was your brother. Did you even pick up the phone to call? You haven't heard from him in a couple of weeks. Did you pick up the phone to call, or was you just too busy?
Right.
You couldn't send a text? You couldn't send a text? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, these are things that, you know, and people are busy. I'm not saying that, you know what I'm saying? But it takes nothing. You know what I'm saying? To send a text to say, hey, bro, love you. If you need anything, bro, just let me know, send. That takes 10 seconds.
Yeah. And what's
right?
crazy about that is that since I've been going through therapy myself, I've been that for a lot of my friends and even people that I just meet. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Like, I'm always willing to just listen. And, you know, I remember certain things, and I tap in and check in with certain people, you know what I'm saying? Because, you know, I would hope that somebody would do it for me. You know what I'm saying? And even if they don't do it for me, I'm not doing it for that reason in regards to, I'm going to do it for you, make sure you get me on the kickback. And it's about caring for people, about trying to be there in whatever capacity they need you to be in. You know what I'm saying? So that's another thing that I've learned over these like couple years. You know what I'm saying? It's just definitely, you know, just try to be there for people, man. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it doesn't take, like you said, it doesn't take much. It takes a, you know, checking, hey, just checking in on you, man. How's everything going? You know, let them open up to you. And if they want to talk to you about something, then that's cool. You know what I'm saying? You don't
At
have to
least leave the
always,
door open.
right. You don't always have to check in. Hey, man, is everything going on? You just be like, hey, you know, I'm just checking in on you. So, you know what I mean? And then, you know, they feel comfortable to be able to break that wall down and let you in, then cool. You know what I'm saying? Like that's what it is, man. But we just gotta do that more. We just gotta do that more.
Jen said, don't do it for the recognition, do it because you actually care.
Exactly.
That's a fact though. Crown Nectary. I'm sorry, Crown Energy, I couldn't read that, sorry. It says, it takes a lot of bravery for a man to express his emotion and not be afraid of what people might say. And that's true, but at the same time, if you're my guy, right? Like, if you're my bro, like if me and you is down, like at the end of the day, you know what I'm saying? Like it don't even matter. I know that you got me.
Right.
Don't matter what I tell you. You know what I'm saying? And, you know, it definitely doesn't mean, you know, to go off and tell everybody your business. That's never what we're saying.
Exactly.
But what we're saying is that, like, if you got people that you say is your brotherhood,
right?
Like, you know, it's the brotherhood, it's my guy,
right?
That I'm saying those are the people, you know what I'm saying, that you should be able to trust. Because if you can't trust them with certain things, that means that you don't really have a brotherhood. That means you have a surface hood. That means it's all surface. You know what I'm saying? And that means you guys can just go out, go to the party, have a good time, drinks, and there are people for that, and that's cool.
Exactly.
It's nothing wrong with that.
Right.
But if these are like your people, then if there's an open door there, then even if you got to ease into it, then it's something that you should at least try.
Exactly. Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? Exactly. Because for me, if you my guy, if I say, yo, BJ, bro, like, yo, no matter what, I don't want to see you laying in the box and me wondering, right, like, yo, damn, man, like, did I check in?
Right.
Did I even give him, like, you know what I mean? Like, I don't want those questions in my head, and I'm staring down like, yo, man, like, could I have done more?
Right. Right.
Right. And a lot of people do that, you know, and it's unfortunate. And honestly, I don't want to live that. Like for the rest of my life, like I don't want to live that. Like, you know how much counseling you're gonna have to do to even get through that type of stuff. And most people won't get it.
Because you already know, man, living a life of regret is the worst type of life to live, bro. You know what I'm saying? And if you regretting stuff, it's a wrap. It's a wrap.
Yes, yeah. It's a complete wrap. So transitioning. So the All Even podcast. So how did you start that? You know what I'm saying? Like, how did that happen? You know what I'm saying? I want to know more about that, man.
Well, that happened. So I finally got to school. After 8 years, and
Okay.
I went to the school. It's a very short school in regards to a short program. So it was the Connecticut School of Broadcasting. They have campuses all over the United States. They had one in Westbury, so I went to the Westbury campus. So, got there, learn the tricks of the trade, learn the skills, because that particular school, you get trained by industry professionals. So I learned TV from the dude that does, I think it's the sports, whatever the sports is for Fox. He runs that.
Wow. Awesome.
We learned radio from my boy my guy that works for my goodness, Light FM. His name is Jack Cradaville. You go to Light FM right now, you hear Jack Cradaville. You know what I'm saying? Like, he's on the air right now. So shouts to Jack Cradaville. Taught me a lot. My director taught me a lot. So I graduated in October of 2019. So I got all these skills. I know how to edit. I know how to edit audio. I know how to edit video. I know how to run a news program. Like my final exam was I had to put on a news program. Literally. Wow. Like 1 hour news program that you see on TV with all the different stories and the B-roll and all this. I had to do that. You know what I'm saying?
Dope.
So I learned all of these skills, and I'm like, all right, I'm ready. So October 19, I graduate. The new year comes, and what happens? COVID hits, right? So school, everybody's closed down. School closed down and all that stuff, and the school never came back. So all the resources that I had lined up in regards to, like when you're a Connecticut School of Broadcasting alumni, you can be able to use their studios for free. So you can be able to record your podcast. You can do a TV program. All of the equipment is there for free at any particular location. You be in Jersey, you go to that one. You go to Florida, like wherever there's a campus, you can be able to go there. Well, my campus closed down. Not saying that they don't have other ones across the United States, but they not nowhere near me. So I'm like, I went to this school for nothing. Like, everything's gone. My resources are gone. Everything is gone. And I'm like, nah, it ain't gonna go down like that. I can't take a loss. So I was talking to my man Basco. Shouts to Bass Michaels.
Shout out to Basco.
Yes, sir. Talking to him on the phone. I was like, yo, man, I definitely want to start this podcast. I need you to help me with some names. Because he's always very good with that.
He's always been good with names.
Always very creative, man. Like from the day that I met this dude. Like, I mean, so he got me some names. So it kind of tabled it for a little bit, right? Think like probably a month and a half later, I came back to him. I was like, yo, you remember that book that you had the names for the podcast? He's like, I was like, yo, can you find that for me? So he found it. I was like, can you go over the names that you picked, like in regards to like the finalists? So he's like, all right, yeah, I got Let It Fly. I'm like, I don't really like that one. He was like, I think it was Remember the Game or Back to the Game or something like that. I was like, nah, I don't like that one. And he was like, oh, you got the All Even podcast. And I was like, then he went to another one. I said, wait, no. Go back. He's like, which one? Back to the Game? Like, no. All Even podcast. So he was like, All Even podcast. I said, that has a nice ring to it. He's like, yeah, I like that one. So, all right, I'm going to go with that. It didn't really have a meaning. Feels just all even. Like it's, you call whatever you see, it's all even, right? So that had to be maybe early July. July 13th is when I recorded my first podcast.
Wow.
July 13th, 2020.
We're close.
Yeah.
That's funny. We're actually close in dates of when we started out.
When's your date?
dude, I don't know. I think it was like June 15th. I don't know. It was somewhere in
Okay,
June.
so kind of, I'm like a month behind you.
Yeah.
So yeah, so July 13th was the first podcast. It's terrible.
Hmm.
You know, like, cause my boy, shouts to Mike Guido. He went to school with me as well. You know, he
Hmm.
graduated before me,
Hmm.
but you know, he used to
Hmm.
always be at the school. So
Hmm.
he's a great writer. So he can be able to literally write his show out,
Mm.
but it won't ever sound like he's reading it.
Right.
So you'll listen and be like, yo, that's just coming off the top. But he actually preps his entire show, which is great. Like, there's a lot of people that
Hmm.
do that. So I was like, all right, let me try that. So I wrote out my entire show, wrote out everything, got my stuff ready to go, hit record, and I'm just like, uh, 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 uh. So I literally sound like a robot going through my read because it's
Hmm.
just not natural to me to do that. So
Hmm.
hearing it back, I'm like, yeah, you know, I'm sending it to people, and everybody's like, oh, yo, you know, congrats on starting your podcast, whatever. But shouts to my man Bishop, always keeps it 100 with me. He said, I like it because I know that you know your stuff. He said, but this gotta get better. He said, it's the first episode. I'm not gonna kill you, but I'm looking for improvement every time you do it.
Mm.
So the next time I recorded, I was like, you know what? I'm not gonna write it. I'm gonna give myself some bullet points.
Yep.
I'm just gonna go.
That's how I do it.
Bro, I remember when I released it and I sent it out, and everybody was like, you didn't write this one, or this is different. I said, yeah. He's like, oh, nah, this is you. This is definitely you. So it just started to grow from there. And, you know, it was really just a great process, man. Like, just understanding, like, you know, getting your voice, getting your flow, understanding, you know, cadences and how to get
Hmm.
through your topics and all that stuff. Like, it was just a process of growth. And then I just started to build more. Like, I was like, all right,
Yeah.
you know, I got the podcast, the audio. Now let me go ahead and segue into, let me do a live every week. And
That's so
then,
funny. We both did it, well, but we did it the opposite way. I
yeah.
did a video first,
And then, yeah,
and then a
right,
few months later, I went back and I did the
right,
audios and stuff like that.
right. So did that, and then branched off and started to do an interview show where I'm interviewing like media personalities and
Hmm.
ex-athletes and stuff like that. One of
Hmm.
my first interview for that show, All Even Live exclusive, was Martin Gramatica, ex-kicker for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, right?
Hmm.
And then I had Josh Powell, ex-Laker,
Hmm.
and it just keeps going on, and I'm just like, I was like, yo, you're doing this by yourself.
Hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
You
nobody
moving,
is
bro.
giving you handouts. Like, you're literally doing this by yourself. Like, if you would have told me 3 years ago, bro, that I'd be talking
Hmm.
to this person, I'd be talking to Ryan Field that's on ABC New York that does the
Hmm.
sports, I'd be like, you crazy.
Mm.
But you know, you just get into your flow, man. It's all about confidence. It's all about, you know, being like trusting yourself and saying,
Yeah.
why not me? Because like, you
Hmm.
know, the knee jerk reaction that we always have, our friends do it, our family does it, we may do it to somebody else, is that when you do something good or you do something that's like out of the ordinary, the first initial reaction is what? They will say to you, how did you do that?
Hmm.
It's not, sometimes you can take it as a negative because it depends on the person.
Hmm.
Sometimes it's just a knee jerk reaction of like, I can't believe you did this. Like, how? Explain to
Right.
me what the process is.
Hmm.
And I would always say the same thing. Hard work. How did you do it? Hard work.
Hmm.
I mean, like building a brand from the ground up, it ain't easy, bro. Like, you know what I'm saying? I got
It
people
is
that
not.
let me know. I got people that leave me on red. I got people that say, oh yeah, I'm gonna get back to you, and they never do. But I don't let that get me down. I just move on to the next one. That was the process. It's about growing, it's about learning, it's about gaining your confidence and saying, why not me? Why can't I do this? And that's the message that I would tell anybody. Well, I don't care what the hell you want to do. Don't let nobody tell you that you can't do it. Like, say to yourself, why not you?
Yep.
The worst somebody can be able to tell you is no. Right? It's
Facts.
no. Like,
Facts.
what else can they say to you? Oh, you're not
I'm a big
good?
believer in that.
Thank you. I'm not good. I'll get better. Thank you. I take constructive criticism, but you're not going to stop me. You know what I'm saying? It's all about grinding and believing in yourself, and that's basically what I've learned, man. Like, I don't have the biggest Instagram following. You know what I'm saying? I don't have the biggest YouTube following. I don't have the greatest number of audio streams. But at the end of the day, I'm doing it by myself. I'm building this by myself. So I can be able to look like Saturday coming up, Terrence, is my 100th episode of the podcast. 100.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Salute to you, bro.
100. And it's gonna be a great episode. It's gonna be a great day. It's gonna be celebration. It's gonna be happiness because of what I accomplished in a little over a year. You could 2 years ago, you couldn't have told me this, bro. You know what I'm saying?
That's a fact.
Couldn't have told me this. So it's like, you put your head down, you get to work, man, and you believe in yourself, and you really like trust in your abilities. You know what I'm saying? Like, trust that you're good. Even if you're not there yet, take constructive criticism. It's great. I love when people tell me that I suck. I mean, they've never said it, but if somebody were to tell me, I wouldn't get offensive. I wouldn't get like, I would just be like, thank you. I will get better. I will make sure that I try to, get better in these fields, because we're always learning, T. Like, you'll never be a pro, and you'll never be 100% in anything you do. You're always going to be learning. You're always going to be able to change and adapt your craft, learn new things, learn new skills.
Yep.
You never stop learning. So for anybody to rest on their laurels and get comfortable, I'm not with getting comfortable, bro. I don't like comfortable. If I feel like the podcast is getting too easy for me, I start thinking about something else that's hard.
What's next? Yeah.
What's the next challenge for me? You know what I'm saying? Like, I need to do something to challenge myself, because I don't want to get to a point where you hear me on my podcast and I sound lazy because I'm comfortable. It's not about that for me. It's about continuing to be excited about what I do, continuing to push the envelope, continuing to defy the odds. You know what I'm saying? Being the person that I don't have no backing. I don't have any sponsors. I don't have none of that stuff. I'm just out there trying to grind from ground zero. You know what I'm saying? And
man.
I got my little community of homies, podcasters that we band together and we support each other, man. Shouts to Fan Podcast, he's in there. John, I don't know who else is in there, but there's a lot of people that no matter what I'm doing, no matter what they're doing, we're always supporting each other. And that's the way to do it, man. It's about building that community, whether it be black, whether it be white. Y'all all can be able to build together to get to where y'all gotta be. You know what I'm saying? It's about trusting and growing your brand, bro. Just being confident in yourself. You doing the same thing. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you got your podcast going, you got your lives great, you got the clothing line, everything you're doing. You're starting from the ground up. You know what I'm saying? Nobody's giving you a handout, bro. It's about you taking your opportunity and you just running with it. That's what it's about. You know what I'm saying?
That's
so that's how I go ahead and really approach my podcast, approach my business. Like, bro, I'll be tired. I ain't gonna lie to you. Like, all the things that I have to do in a day, I take care of my son. Shouts to his mother. Like, she works hard as well. She's a great mom. We work hard. We're tired, but Tuesdays and Saturdays and Thursdays and Sundays come up where I gotta put stuff out and I gotta edit. I'm doing it.
Yep.
Like, there's no excuses.
People don't understand. People think like we pop on this live and then
No, it's not easy, bro.
that's it. And
Nah,
that's it.
man.
And it's like, yo, there's so much that goes into it after
There's
the
so much
fact.
that goes into it, bro. Like, you see what you see behind you. Like, I literally built my own studio. I have
Yeah.
I have 3 computers in front of me right now. I have a studio light. I bought studio lights for the ceiling. There's so many different things that I learned for myself. You know what I'm saying? Like, the process has just been, and that's what I take away from this, bro. It's just like all the stuff that I've learned, all the stuff that I appreciate, all the things that I don't take for granted. You know what I'm saying? Like hard work, bro. I do not take that shit for granted. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Like, I work my ass off, and I'm not scared to tell people that, because hard work is what's going to get you to the next level. Wherever you gotta go, yeah, they always tell you, oh, don't work hard, work smart. Yeah, that's cool. You also gotta work hard too.
You
You know what
also
I'm
got to
saying?
work
Like,
hard.
you
Yeah.
always gotta
Mm-hmm.
work hard too. Like, when you get to a certain level, yes, there's different ways of getting to what you gotta do, but
Of
they
course.
don't ever tell you that you gotta go ahead and bust ass and get to the
Mm-hmm.
point where you can be able to work smart.
Right.
You know
Right.
what I'm
You know what
saying?
I'm
Like,
saying? Yeah. Yeah.
you gotta trek through the mud before you can be able to stand on top of that tractor or whatever you gotta go and do what you gotta do. But you gotta put in the work first. You know what
Yeah,
I'm
man. It's so funny because like the same like working when I was let's say 16, 17, from like 16 years old, right? Even until now, like I work differently. Not like as far as the corporate world, like my
saying?
corporate job, I work differently. Like I've worked sometimes 65-hour work weeks and all of this stuff. Right now, I've gotten to a point now where I'm just like, all right, look, like you only have me to a certain point,
Right.
right? I'm working smarter now. Like I did that when I was like 17, 18, 20, 21.
Exactly.
Like y'all not gonna kill me.
Right.
If I'm gonna kill myself, it's gonna be for my stuff.
Exactly.
It's gonna be for me, right?
Exactly.
It's gonna be for the things that I really want to do and for the things that I want to accomplish. Y'all got me for the 40 right now. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? Maybe 39.5. You know what I'm saying? But y'all got me for that time.
Right.
Beautiful. And but from 5 on, that's for me.
That's my time. Right.
Like that's my time, and that's what I'm gonna do. Because if I'm working till 8 o'clock from 8 to 8, for you, I get home, it's 10 o'clock. I'm tired. I
Right.
got, you know what I mean. You commute home in time. I don't got no time for me.
Right.
You know what I'm saying. And us as people, like we gotta have time for us,
Yep.
for our stuff. You know what I'm saying. It's a great time to work hard and work. I'm not saying that, but there's got to be a time where whether it be you wanting to get in shape. I don't care if you just want to go to the gym after work, right? And have
Right.
time to do so, to get your health right.
Right.
That's the time that you need for you.
Right.
Whether it's working on a business, that's time for you. You know what I'm saying? So it's just, just working, you know what I'm saying? Like for whatever working for you means, you know what I'm saying? Just make sure that you do that. Just make sure that that you accomplish that for yourself. You know what I'm saying? The 9 to 5s are great. And it's beautiful, you know what I'm saying? But just don't let them, you know what I'm saying, start taking your life away to where you don't have time to work on the things that you need to do for yourself. You know what I'm saying? Because especially for your health. And I say that because a lot of people sometimes like you can pass away tomorrow and guess what's gonna happen? Your job is gonna fill the job relatively soon
Yeah.
because that's just the way it runs, right? You know what I'm saying? So it's just do stuff for you and make time for yourself and make time for your mental health. You know what I'm saying? A lot of people don't. So I just want to encourage that. Um, my final question to you, because this has been amazing, and may want to do a part two. Um, um, how has sports impacted your life?
Oh man, that's the $1 million question right there, T.
Yes, sir.
Sports to me is everything, bro. Like, you know, from the time that I can remember, that's all it's been. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I grew up a Laker fan because my mom was a Laker fan. You know,
Mm-hmm.
she always rooted for the Lakers because they had all the brothers. Like, she didn't want to root for the Celtics. But they had Bird and McHale, and she used to always look at Robert Parrish and all the other dudes like, yeah, they Uncle Toms. They on that side. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
Come on.
I ain't dealing with them. I ain't dealing with them. So from the time that I can remember, I've always
Shout out to Moms.
right. Shouts to Bobs. You know what I mean?
Shout out to Moms.
I've always been a Laker fan, and I grew up a Magic Johnson fan, and understanding the game. And I've never been great in school. Like, once I got like older, I just couldn't concentrate on it, especially math. Like, you know what I mean? Like, math, I was never good at. English and science and social studies, man, those were my things. But math, I couldn't retain anything in regards to math. But I can tell
that was my struggle too.
I can tell you Darryl Strawberry's batting average in 86 for the Mets. So it's like, it's just sports always made sense to me. You know what I'm saying? Like, when other things didn't make sense, when I couldn't be able to do certain things, and I was limited in regards to, my math or whatever other learning issues I had, sports always made sense. And then when I played it, it made even more sense to me. And then I understood the fundamentals of certain things, and understanding that sports is such a unifier, T. I can love a team, somebody in another country who can't speak English and we don't understand each other. We can be able to share a moment because we root for the same team, and we can be able to share a high five and a hug or whatever it is, just that 10 seconds of celebration. It's the great unifier. You know what I'm saying? And that's why I love it, because it just brings everybody together for a common purpose, a common goal. You know what I'm saying? Like, kids, it's so important for kids to play sports early on. It's not about putting your kid in sports because you want them to be the next Ken Griffey, you want them to be the next LeBron or Jordan. It's about teaching them fundamentals. It's about putting a kid in a situation that he's uncomfortable in to make him grow. Certain kids who are socially awkward, sports are good for them. Why? Because they're able to open up. They're able to meet people and meet friends and have experiences. Those things are important for their development. It's important for them to understand structure and discipline as they go along in life. If they want to continue to play, cool, but at least they have that foundation and understand what it's like to be a part of a team. Because being a part of a team, growing up and getting older, that's what it's about. It's about learning how to be a good teammate. That's what being a friend is. It's being a good teammate. That's what being a good son is, or a good father. It's about being a good teammate. What's good for the team is good for everybody. You feel what I'm saying? So you learn that playing sports. You feel what I'm saying? So that's why it's always something that's just a backbone of who I am. Like, I am the ultimate team player. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm always team first. If I gotta sacrifice my stats or whatever it is for somebody else, I'm going to do that because of it's just the betterment of the greater good. You feel what I'm saying? So that's why sports is it's a huge part of my life, man. It will continue to be a huge part of my life. You know what I mean?
Dope. And Nieran, shout out to Nia. She said, congrats on both of your successes. Thank you for sharing your story. Shout out to my boy Vance in the building. He has a show called Football is Back. I know he has a sports show called Football is Back too. It's a good show. Maybe y'all can connect. Listen, bro. I appreciate you, man. I appreciate you for doing this, bro. As always, it was a great conversation. Enjoyed hearing a lot more about your story. A lot of things, I definitely didn't know. But the one thing I definitely do know, man, you're a stand-up guy. You're an incredible father, bro. Just like I said before, man, we need more like you. We need more brothers in the world like you. You know what I'm saying? And, any way that I could support you personally, I definitely will. And we're going to do this again, definitely. But just wanted to say, man, just salute to you. And just tell the people, one more time, where they could find you and where they could find the All Even podcast.
Yeah, I definitely appreciate that, man. I really appreciate all the kind words, man. You know what I'm saying? Like that means a lot. You know what I'm saying? I don't do it for the praise, but it's always good to hear it sometimes. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
Yeah, but you can definitely find me on Instagram, All Even Podcast, on Twitter at All Even Podcast, Facebook, Barry Grant Jr. I'm on YouTube. Type in All Even Podcast, see all my nonsense that's on my YouTube. You can catch my show, All Even Live, every Wednesday. I normally drop my guest interviews on Thursdays on YouTube. I always put snippets out. Throwing chairs. That's my comedy show with my friend Buzz, where we blend comedy and sports and stuff together. So that's always good. Episode 3 is dropping this Sunday. So I got a lot of stuff going on. There's some other stuff in the pipeline that I'm actually working on right now as well that has to involve a whole bunch of other people. So I'm not gonna release that yet, but it's coming. It's coming.
Damn! I thought I was gonna get an exclusive. All right, cool.
Not yet, man. Maybe the next show. Maybe the next show.
All right, man. Listen. Thank you, bro. Keep doing what you're doing, man, and continue success, bro. Love.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. We'll talk, man.
Yes, sir. Peace. Yo, and that's a wrap. Appreciate y'all for joining and listening in. This is season 2, episode 21, Conversations of the Heart. Tune in next week. Gonna have something special for you guys. Another special guest. All right, yo, listen, it's your boy T Till, man. Peace.